Today we are getting down to business, the business of learning photography lighting. You're listening to the Master Your Lens podcast, episode 167.
Hey, John Lee Dumas here, the founder and host of EO Fire, and welcome to the Master Your Lens podcast, the photography podcast dedicated to sharing inspiring stories, technical tips, and powerful secrets to help you become a better photographer. And now, your host, Matthew Jordan Smith.
Hello, Photography Nation. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to spend the entire show talking about light and how you can learn lighting. When it comes to photography, you need something that can set you apart, something that can make your pictures stand out. When it comes to standing out, there are a few things that you can do to make your pictures feel different, to give your images your own special personality, a visual personality. Well, what is that? A visual personality is that one thing that makes your pictures stand out from other photographers. Let's think about all the things that the average photographer does, the things that are easy. Well, one thing that's easy to do is to take a picture with natural light. We are seeing more and more pictures being taken every day. I mean, think about it. In the last month, how many pictures have you seen? And how many of those pictures kind of fit into the same category? And by that, I mean they kind of blend together. They all look the same. Let's discuss another thing that's easy to do. Using your histograms to find your exposure, to find out your normal or your correct exposure. Those two things make you blend in, shooting with natural light and judging your picture based on your histograms. Everybody's doing that. When everything feels the same, it's like having a consumer product. You don't want to be the consumer product on the market. You want to be the specialty item. Something's a little different, and that difference gives you the ability to charge more, to earn more. And if you are doing photography as a business, or you want to do photography as a business, you need to have that one thing that sets your work apart from others. And that thing is lighting, learning how to use light to make your pictures feel different than other photographers. But I'm not just going to stop there and just say it's just learning lighting, because that's not true. You need to learn how to have a personality with your light. This is what sets you apart from other photographers. Really learning light, this is where you start, learning the basics, and then going further, learning how to give your light a personality. Now, maybe you're wondering, how can I give my light in my pictures a personality? Well, let's think about that for a second. In photography, we learned how to make a normal picture, a normal exposure. But everybody's doing that. I mean, everybody is doing that. Everyone with a smartphone is taking a normal picture. Those normal pictures are exposed correctly. And because of that, every picture you see kind of feels the same until you learn to deviate. And in that deviation, you are giving your pictures this different personality. It's your personality, but you have to find it as a photographer. Some people call this your photography style. We learn how to make a normal picture, and then we go further, well, hopefully anyway, into finding how to put personality into the pictures. When I am teaching my students, and for those of you who don't know, I have an online training course that's all about teaching photography lighting. And I don't just want to teach about how to use a softbox, how to use an umbrella, how to use different modifiers. Yes, that is important, but that's the beginning stages. The more important part about teaching lighting is teaching you how to put your own personality, your visual personality into your pictures. You can do that in a couple of ways. You can do it with your exposure. Let's start there first. It's the very obvious part. We're taught how to make a normal picture, a normal exposure. But your pictures should have personality. They should feel like you. Let's talk about 2020. Has it felt like a normal year? Well, you know the answer to that. I won't even go into that. But let's say you want your pictures to feel the same way that you are feeling. How do you do that? Do you make your pictures feel a little darker? Or you want them to feel romantic? Or do you want to make them feel more inspirational? You can do that with your exposure. Now, at the beginning of photography, we learn about a normal exposure. We learn about an underexposed picture. We learned about an overexposed picture. And we're taught that you never want to make an underexposed picture. You never want to make an overexposed picture. We're taught to use histograms and to make sure it doesn't go too far on either side, over or under. You want the full range in your pictures. That's what we're taught. But if everybody is doing the same thing, don't all pictures start to look the same? Well, they don't have to. And one way to do that is with your exposure, deciding on how you feel, and then making your pictures look that way. So again, that's one way to do it. Let's talk about another way. And this can be either very subtle or very overt. We can add color to our images or a different hue to our images. The only thing is, you need to be able to do that in a very consistent way. So not just one picture has this look, but every picture has this look. We're talking about making your pictures special so people see your work along with everybody else, but recognize that something's different. Maybe you want your pictures to feel warmer, or maybe you want them to feel cooler. You can do that with your color grading, the color of your light. Have you seen a movie where everything feels gray? I know the show is not on anymore, but I love talking about Game of Thrones. There are scenes where they make it feel like it's gray. And for the most part, we're not conscious of it because it's a very subtle thing. But it creates a mood. It's heavy. It can be very serious, like you're going to war. That is all about light. Then there are other scenes where everything feels very warm and inviting and cozy. That too is all about the light. You see, when it comes to learning about lighting, it's not just about learning how to use your softbox and how to use a beauty dish and other types of modifiers. It's much deeper than just learning the mechanics of lighting. You've got to learn how to put your personality into lighting. And you have options on how to do that. In the last week, I've taught 3 free 1-hour webinars talking about light and talking about color. On my last one, I did a little bit of a pivot. I asked everyone to bring their cameras to class. Because this way, we can do an experiment together, do a lesson together, and you can see for yourself how this all plays out. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing for you to go through an exercise and see it for yourself. Well, I have one more webinar I'm doing for this season, and I'd like for you to come. It happens on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, when you come, I want you to bring your camera to class. We're going to do an experiment together so you can see the power that light has, the power that you have to make your pictures special. Now, this is the last training webinar for this season, so please try to come. You'll be happy that you did. But first, you must register, and you do that by going to photographylightingwebinars.com. You can register right there, and then after you register, put it in your calendar and make sure you show up on time. We're going to go over a lot. We're going to experiment with exposure so I can show you the power of finding your own feeling in your pictures based on light. Then we'll pivot and go into color. We'll talk about the color and how color makes you feel. And then after the training is over, the training will be 1 hour. After that's over, I'll give you an opportunity to join my course, Photography Lighting Course. Now, you're always hearing from me about what it's like, what we learn, what you learn. But today, I want you to hear from people who are actually in my course and what they have to say about it.
Initially I thought this would be just straight up lighting, 101 on how to do lighting, and it's so much more. It's about how to really be a photographer, how to see light, not just execute it like many other people teach you how to set up the lights and do that. This is a much more profound and fundamental class.
I really want to take my photography and my business to the next level. And some of the things that I kind of had instinctually thought that maybe I should start doing, he touched on those, but then expanded upon them. And it was just like, there were so many aha moments in just like that free 1 hour webinar that I was like, you know what? I need to sign up for his actual course, because if I got that much out of 1 hour of a free webinar, I knew that the content of the course itself was going to have so much more. And it has, like, every single day, like, either people post things on the Facebook group and I see things, or just the actual modules or the weekly live sessions. There is always so much that I am having constant little aha or inspiration or just things to help push me along.
Being a part of PLC has given me the courage to do things that I was apprehensive. I think in module 1, you talked about natural light. And I was one of those people that say, I like natural light. I want to go outside and shoot during the daytime. And being in PLC is giving me the strength and the courage to go in a studio. I'm shooting almost every weekend, whether it's a gig or it's a client, but I'm just getting a volume of work. So
originally when I signed up to the course, I thought it was just going to be an online class and kind of learn as I go along, and then that'd be the end of it. But the courses have actually given me a lot more because of the group on Facebook. There's a lot more content that gets put in the group than I initially thought was going to be a part of the course. The live question and answer sessions that you do every week are really valuable. And again, something I totally didn't expect to get when I enrolled for the course.
I've been involved with some other Facebook groups, and kind of, you don't get as much interaction. But with this one, you get a lot of feedback. So it's great. Whenever I've had plenty of questions already, and everyone's just been so friendly and willing to jump in and help. And everyone is truly willing to help. And the other great thing is the modules that you've created. I've already gone through them multiple times, and I keep going back and referring to the modules. So whenever I have a photo shoot or anything coming up, it's great to kind of have that to refer back to.
When it comes to learning photography lighting, I don't believe it's enough just to have an online course. And this is the reason why Photography Lighting Course is 2 parts. There's the online component, the online modules, and there are 9 to take you through the process of learning about lighting. But then there's the live component, and this happens every single week. Every single week, we have a live training session, because as you're going through my course, you're going to have questions. In the course, there's assignments and exercises. All this happens as you're learning about lighting. So absolutely, you're going to have questions. And that's why every single week we have a live training session. This is where you can come in and ask your questions and get answers. And then get results that you can see. But enough of talking about it. Come and join me this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the last live webinar of this season. Go to Photography Lighting Webinars and come and join me. When you do, bring your camera, because this way you can see with your own eyes the power of learning lighting and seeing how different it can be when you create your own type of look. All right, Photography Nation, that's going to do it for today. I've got a lot more time to spend on putting this training together so you can leave with results. Make sure you sign up right now. Go to photographylightingwebinars.com. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Always dream big. Bye for now.